We are going to have a good time tonight. I want feedback from you. This topic, this day, is entrepreneurship. I have never done anything like this. No, I've shared just like bits and pieces. I mean, think about that. Approaching 25 years in business, and I've really never done anything just about my experiences as an entrepreneur. And I'm sure that I will not do a complete sharing of that tonight. Even when I wrote the book, I said, look, Delia, make sure you bring me the book. I don't even feel safe without the book here close to me. I don't have the book over here. I think it's over there. Any book, all of the books. Look, I can't believe I did that. And I remember last week I took some papers and I folded. Oh, you were so good. It's so good to have a producer. The book, look. And I didn't even. This book does not even tell my story. This book is about the principles of AfroEconomics. But I wrote this book after 20 years of business. I can't believe this time is flying. You better do what you gotta do, because time is flying. What's up, Craig? What's up, Carolyn? What's up, Barbara? Andrea? Phone callers. Evangeline, Lawanda, Roy. This is a good day. This is Valencia. We are praying with you as your AfroEconomics family. I know what you're going through, and we are with you. Yes, indeed. She lost a family member. She lost her mother last year. This year, I was going through the funeral services on the 9th for my father. So I know. This is a challenge. And we also lost another member, Carl Reed. We lost a member, Carl Reed, and he was such a supporter of AfroEconomics. So Carl, just know that AfroEconomics is here because of you, and we will continue to allow your legacy of commitment to the excellence of Africans and descendants of slaves in America and abroad, that their excellence will continue because of the example that Carl Reed set. I really appreciate you, members. We're going to continue to watch out for each other. Sometimes I think we can live our whole life and not really realize how much, Ms. Dickinson's, your life means to each of us. Just what you do, anything you might have shared during one of the sessions, that we just should not go through this life without taking that chance. Take that chance, right? Take that chance of actually helping somebody else, which may mean you're leaving yourself vulnerable. And I have to do that a lot, because I can't really offer you me without just giving you all of me. No, there ain't no half stepping when you really want to help somebody. But I believe that that's what life is all about. I believe that we have to give and give. We just have to keep on pouring. And it's amazing how God just pours more into us. But if we just fill ourselves up and we don't pour it out, then nothing changes, nothing gets better. So we have to give it out. We have to give it out so that you'll have room to receive even more. And then you just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the cup runneth over. Believe me, not just half full, the cup runneth over. So I wanted to just think about, and if you, to discuss, I wrote down about 10 just points that I feel that have been key to my entrepreneurship. And I think that they can be key to life of us, how we carry ourselves as our own personal enterprise. Just some key things. But I want to make sure that, and it's going to be difficult because along the way, make sure that you chat with me, you hold up your hand if you're willing and able and excited about sharing. Because when you share and you talk to me and you talk to us, that we're going to appreciate your question even more, Lawanda. Lawanda, allow me to put you on camera. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? So here are some of the points that I want to discuss on lessons of my life that I've learned through entrepreneurship. Consistency. How about that? And I just put down like just words, because I just didn't want like a long dissertation. I just wanted, like, when I hear this word, these words that came to my mind, like, what do I think about? When I think about consistency, I think about the times that I wasn't consistent and how much that I lost by being inconsistent. And I think that a lot of people are not consistent because they don't know how much you lose by being inconsistent. They don't know. If they knew the power of consistency, people would do what they're supposed to do. You know, they would do it, and they do it constantly. And I think that, and you may have heard me share this before, that I think that it is our ability to do the mundane things repeatedly. That's what ultimately ends up being our success. That we don't stop doing that little thing. Like, a person could say to me, how much business have you gotten out of those Wednesday nights? I mean, you take every Wednesday night for years. Then you were doing Wednesday at lunch, and, you know, every time. And then you get up at Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. and you're doing those things. No, I don't get up at 7. I get up at 5 a.m. and I do that, and I do that, and I do that. You know, so they like, what? So how much business have you gotten out of there? And they think that you're supposed to say, well, you know what? You know, I've got this, and this. Because people that know nothing about business, they think that everything that they do, you're going to have a direct response to that. You know, but that's not how it works. Like, if I don't like the word karma, but it's used all the time. So let's just say consistency creates what is called that karma. But I just believe that you get what you give. You know, that sometimes you get something bad, but ultimately we're going to get what we give consistently. So our good will outnumber the bad, because we're going to not give up. The bad and the bad things that don't appreciate your consistency will not, they won't even factor in, because you will be so consistent about doing the right thing. So you will not know exactly where your success came from. You know that you just have to pile it on. You have to pile on the service, the commitment, the callback, the follow-up, you have to follow up. You have to do these things. You have to do it consistently. You have to be there and 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 be there. And and be there. And so consistency, as I've seen, is vital to building trust. That, because, you know, trust is ultimately that person, your customer or your friend or your wife or your husband, they learn to trust you from your consistency. And the lack of trust comes from the inconsistency. Well, sometimes they're there for me. Sometimes they call me back. Sometimes they check in on Wednesday night. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes. Only sometimes, you know, that's where you get that's where everything starts just being average. Everything is just okay. But if we want our ultimate level of success that we deserve, and you want a successful business that communicates to the world what you want to provide to it, then consistency. And the second point is sacrifices. I believe that to have a successful business, you have to just become comfortable. Wanda said she saw my lips move, but she can't hear me. You hear me? Get ready. I'm coming on camera to get you. Sacrifices. She has to make a sacrifice and come on camera with me. Right, Craig? So sacrifice is a big part of entrepreneurship. And I believe that it's called sacrifice, but from an entrepreneurship perspective, it's just doing what you have to do. And it just became a part of my life very early in my life. Like when I got a paper route, and then the paper route meant that I couldn't just do fun things, like the other kids my age were doing. And then I started cleaning people's houses up the street because I wanted money, and I wasn't old enough to get that dream job, but it took sacrifice. And then I went to college and I had to pay for it myself. So it meant having all these different part-time jobs while I was a full-time student, and went to graduate school the same way, but I had a full-time job at that point, but sacrifices. And so then, and then saying, okay, I've done this, started in radio sales, loved it, became a stockbroker, loved it, but I wanted to have my own firm. Sacrifice. I had to start all over, sacrifice over and over and over and sacrifice. Now, all these years of business behind me, and I still have to sacrifice. The client needs to see me really bad, and I wanted to take time off on Friday because, hey, it's my birthday weekend. So I had one client, and I said, okay, let's get together on Friday. She said, no way, it's your birthday weekend. And then, this is something totally outside of their control, and I need to be there for her. So what? I sacrifice. It'll probably end up being a full day. I'll be all right. You sacrifice. There's so many. I remember one year someone said they had to see me, and I said, I just don't like working on my birthday. I would prefer, to take that because I work all the time. So if your birthday, do something different, at least go out to lunch or something. If you have a work day birthday, I work through lunch every day. I don't look, and this year and my commitment, I might just drink a lunch, drink protein powder and keep going. I don't need it, but the sacrifice. It's just what you need. So if a person feels like, I have clients and their children come to them and they say they want to start their own business. Will you invest in my business? When your kid says that and they haven't even opened the doors of your business, you might as well just throw the money out the door. Like take the $10,000 or whatever, just to go, boom. Because when somebody really wants to go into business, they don't need the investors. They don't need a loan. They don't need, this is only my opinion. So hey, what I'm saying, I started my business with absolutely zero. I'm gonna tell you, and just a credit line on a credit card. Yes. And then I said, I'm gonna try to not use my 401k. I can't use my 401k. Okay, right? In business, we have to sacrifice so much. Now, granted, I was still in my 20s, so we're not talking about like some people, they really feel like they'll take a big 401k balance and use it to start their business, have to pay taxes on that. And if they're not 59 and a half, try to pay penalties, but they have that desire to sacrifice. Well, what it means is that's not the end of the sacrifice. So if you do that and you're all in and you take your whole savings and you put it all into the business because you want to have a salary or you want to hire these people or you need to get inventory, whatever, you spend all your money, then now what? You're making money. What do you have to do? Get it back. Get it back. Save twice as much. Adjust your style of income, your style of living. Adjust it. Well, that's all I'm just saying. Sacrifice. I know some people is like, no way, I'm not going to, sacrifice on my weekends or on my Fridays or on my birthdays or not take vacations and things like that. Well, my entire career since 1995 has been full of consistent sacrifices. Being focused on your business. Now, I remember after when I initially had my daughter, and I know I kind of went in hiding because what happened, my husband left. She was 4 weeks old. I was all of it was new to me, just being a mother. And, I'm in my mid 30s by this point, started my business in my 20s. So my business is, I thought, my business has grown. But now in looking back, it's like, whoa, Your business was so young. And how I made it through? Pure focus. I started just getting rid of things. No, I didn't have anybody to help me. Everybody that helped me, I had to hire. I had to hire a full-time nanny. I had to hire a part-time nanny. I was spending like almost $50,000 a year plus benefits on support, on people, just keeping my family, me and my daughter, keeping us together. Renovated the building, had moved in the building that I had at that time, made a nursery. She stayed with me, for years until they forced me. People force you to separate from your child. But I was working all the time down there, had someone taking care of her all the time, but we were together. And my daughter was just a touch away. But I was focused on maintaining my relationship with her and being a good mother and also building that business. Focused. Being organized is everything. And it is the biggest challenge to me of just constantly being organized, because we're not just a business, we're also a person. So we have our personal matters to keep organized, and then you have your business matters to keep organized. But organization is important. I believe and love technology, and that has really helped me a lot, especially with the membership, because I manage portfolios, and then I also have my AfroEconomics members. And I know that it's technology that has allowed that to just be so easy. I can pull up membership, who joined, what went down, what's going on, how many events you went to, everything. You can see the portfolio, see the performance, print out the performance, print out the reports, everything. So, but you have to be organized and make the proper investments in what technology can help you, because you can use cheap technology and cheap software development and cheap support skills, and then your organization, no matter how much you try, is going to be weak because you don't have the technical support that you need. You don't even need the manpower as much now as you need to have that brain power and that artificial intelligence, right? That to help you. So every action. Another point I wanted to share about the lessons that I've learned as an entrepreneurship, and Lord knows I am taking notes on every bit of this. All of these are areas that I constantly have to work on, constantly. I just don't feel that I am anywhere close to where God is taking me. And I'm grown. And I know people that I went to high school with who are talking about retirement, and I got to talk to you about my retirement, things like that. It's like, that doesn't even enter my mind. All I think about is staying healthy, getting to the gym, eating proper things so that I can stay on my game, on top of it. I want to be making dunks and 3-pointers like UVA did the other night. Yes. But we have to know that every action creates a reaction. When we don't do those things, we have to deal with the consequences of what you don't do, and what don't know can hurt you. Contrary to popular belief, that we need to know these things, and we need to do things that are going to create the proper results. Everything is just a chain reaction. Everything leads to another. Some people say, well, I can't do that because I can't, they can't save at work because they don't have the extra money, Well, what is their vision? What are they thinking? Well, they can't save $200 a paycheck, but that doesn't mean they can't save $100, or that doesn't mean they can't save $50, right? So we can realize that every action creates a reaction, or creates a certain result. Action leads to everything. Even what you don't do really creates a result. The lack of action has a reaction. Yes, it does. And then how about this? How about, before I go on, I'm gonna check on y'all. Thank you. I had a dream. Well, I'm glad you did. I want to know the dream. I want to know the dream, Miss Person. Tell me the dream. See that? This bad students trying to. Ms. Witherspoon says, how did you mitigate distractions in order to stay focused? Just like this. No, I'm joking. Just like this. I'm not going to see you. No, definitely, I think that I think that we address too many things. Like, I think that we allow distractions to happen, that we allow ourselves to be pulled away from our ultimate goal. And I feel that if you know the goal and you really want the goal, then being focused on it won't make a difference. If you saw like how many things that I had to give up in order to keep my business alive, you will realize that people do exactly what they want to do. It's, they just don't want to accept that they made a choice. Like, we are exactly where we are because of the choices that we made. It's not by mistake. It's not by mistake. So how do we stay focused because of the distractions? I believe that when you're truly focused, it will roll off you. It will just roll off you. You will be able to spot distractions like potholes when you're on a motorcycle. And I hope a lot better than me, because I hit a pothole and it was not good. So definitely we have to be able to spot them, because if you hit that distraction, if you hit that pothole, it can cause you a long time before you get back on track. So we have to realize the danger of it. You have to see how horrible it is that I get lost. Like, even during the day, like, I have to clearly communicate to my assistant what is a priority for me on that day, because everybody else has priorities. Everybody else has priorities, but you have to stay focused on, this is a priority for me. Like, one day she was, telling me about a call. I was missing a call, and I said, I know, I'm sorry. We need to call them and let them know, but we have someone in our family that has passed away. So I'm going to stop. If something happens to a member, client, I'm going to stop. But I have to communicate to everyone else, that and that's not a distraction. That's not a distraction. That's a responsibility. So I think that we get confused between what's a responsibility, and we think a responsibility is a distraction. And then afterwards, you realize that it was a distraction. So we have to realize what is a distraction and what is a responsibility. I just think at first when you do it, it's probably not a distraction. You think it's something you're responsible for, something you have to do. So we have to realize what is a death, what is, something that we have to address and help someone through, and what is, just someone that is outside of the stacking order, or some activity that's outside of the priority list for the day. So good question about staying focused. The fine print. The fine print is amazing, and I can't tell you enough about how you have to make sure that you look at the fine print on everything that you sign. Everything from your purchase of your home, your car, your business lease, everything. Look at the fine print. Look at the worst case scenario. I was helping a member through a mortgage, and the lender said, asked to wait. So we waited, and then after they said, wait till the top of the month and do the paperwork again to be in this particular special we're running. So we waited, and then they said, oh, and by the way, now the interest rate is higher. I was like, no, see, that's not part of the deal. That's not part of the deal. And they were really upset because the client had an advocate helping her through the experience. And, that is empowerment. That's what we have to do. How can you send me a link to listen to the email? Like, well, look, we getting some boom, boom, boom. I don't know. It's in the, but did you get it? A text up? It came in. And then, but definitely make sure that you address the fine print. And then about another point for me was health and family. And I talked about that, But I believe that health and family, and then the sacrifice, that I didn't want to include that into sacrifice, because I hope that I fully communicated to you that family was thus not negotiable. Family is not negotiable to me in the stacking order of my purpose. I know that my daughter comes as high priority, and as I approach getting married next year, I know that as my family grows, that I have family is first, and then that I also have to realize that I have had a family. Like the business is to me my first child. So my business is my family. I just have a big family. I remember one time I was interviewed in the newspaper right after my daughter was born, and I said, yeah, my business was my first child. It's like, it is indeed. It's part of the family. And I don't take a point to separate this is business and this is family, because no matter how hard I try, my clients are my family. And if something happens to them or I lose one of them, it hurts me like family. We spend so much time together and go through so much together. And look how long I've been in business. So, I have clients that retired when I was in my 20s, and then now they're maturing, and, some of them are finally, people used to retire so young back then. So I had clients that retired at 48 and 50 years old. It's amazing how things have changed. Now people don't retire that early. But the industry, the environment, family, health, and seeing the challenges of health, and seeing the challenge that myself of trying to keep stress managed as an entrepreneur, as a Black person, as a Black woman, that we unfortunately have certain stressors that we just have to deal with because of the weaknesses of others and how they see us as a culture. And that does reflect on us, ever so directly onto our health. And we have to be very, very careful to protect ourselves. And that's why I believe that debt is so connected to our health, because sometimes our response to the stresses of life is to go and become materialistic. And then the stress of keeping the material items hurts our health as well as the stress itself, which is a killer. So health and family, and having a healthy family, boy, is so important to me. And I say healthy family, everyone on your team. Building a team is such a challenge. Building that team, building that family, and building a team that knows how important your family is to you. And then also being creative. I'm about to close out, y'all. But being creative, always having new ideas. And then a ninth point is just building your brand, building what you believe in, communicating in business, like what you believe in. And I don't believe that we ever have to sacrifice who we really are, who you believe in, what you like. If you like country music and cowboy boots, be that. I don't believe that there's so many people who change themselves because they say, well, my customers won't like that. I remember when I first went natural, I love you, Daddy. Well, my dad said, your customers aren't going to like that. Your customers aren't going to like that. Like he had couldn't imagine why a daughter of his would go and do that to herself. It was like, it was so worried about the business. And I said, Dad, there's a whole bunch of people to serve. If they don't like me because I have an afro, then they should go somewhere else. And I truly believe that there are so many people that need your help. Why in the world would you sacrifice what you believe in how you believe, what your purpose is, and is in order to make someone else happy or more comfortable. So my discomfort is designed to make you comfortable. And I was on a panel one time, and they were telling these college kids that when you apply for the job, if you have a Black sounding name, and this is all Black people on the panel with me, and if you have a Black sounding name, then you should just put Akila, oh, don't use that. Just put Witherspoon, just put A Witherspoon. It's so sad. And my daughter's name, which is African descent, name very popular in Arab countries. Oh, don't use that. Don't use any name like that. It's so, and I said, I can't believe that you all, grown folk, professionals, graduate degrees, some lawyers and everything, that would say that to these young people. So if their resume is accepted by someone who does not like a Black person, they're supposed to waste their time, fake their name, go into the interview, and then hear no. If you're not supposed to be there, why would I fake my way in to get there? Ain't nothing about me going to change. You still gonna be Black in the interview or not. What's the point? And they just got mad. You could see they were just disgusted. But I mean, there could be some logic there, but I just don't feel over the long term that it's going to have worked for us if we are not truly too true to ourselves. I believe that you can be the professional that you are meant to be and still be true to yourself. And by no imagination, no extent, do I feel that everybody should be anything but what they want. There's nothing that I don't think that anybody should try to be like anybody. I don't think that if everybody in the world gets an afro, I don't think that you should get one just because everybody in the world got one. That's my point. It doesn't matter what it is. If everybody gets anything, if everybody in the world gets a Lincoln, I want you to have the guts to just go ahead and get that Ford if that's what you want. If you want to have your own business, but everybody works for the government, I want you to have the guts to start your business. Something to think about. So building your brand all the time. That means being true to yourself, being honest all the time. You are the brand. You are. And if it's not true, if that's not really what you stand for, it'll catch up with you. So why do I do all I do? Why do we do this? I believe that the Black community deserves to build wealth and be serviced respectfully. I believe that we need to be honored. We deserve to be honored. And I love it when I hear someone in my office tell me that the client said I made them feel special. That's everything. That's everything. I can't control the stock market, but I can definitely make our experience during the wealth development process as positive. That's all I can control. I can't control everything else. I can make the most intelligent decisions possible. I can just try my best, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna control everything that I can. Everything that I can and that I can't control: research, development, service, creativity, integrity. I can control all that. And it makes me feel good to do all that I can do. And I am convinced that this is God's plan for my life. I'm convinced that this is what I'm supposed to do. Even in my darkest day, after 9/11, after all of the different experiences that I've been through, everything. I mean, I could have a lifetime movie. But I'm gonna tell you, I am headed towards a very, very, very happy rest of the book. Not last chapter, but all of the chapters going forward, right? Make it good. We create the life that we deserve. We create it. This is the lifestyle that I've chosen. I love my life. I love my life. There's some people go, oh my goodness, oh, wow, you work so much. I don't. I live so much. And I enjoy, this is what I do. This is it. And I thank God to have, to have love that appreciates and knows who I truly am. This morning, I just hear my daughter say, "Hey, Mama," or she got into school and she texted me back, "Mom, I love you." That's success. That's success. The client saying, "You made me feel special." That's success. Seeing, just being with someone and building and allowing, just last week when a client was on his way to the hospital and the family member told me that he said, "Hey, anything happened to me, just call JB Bryan. You'll be fine." That's everything. That's everything. And one of his last conversations, we've done it, y'all. We've done it. If not for nothing else, if this is my last day, then I've done enough. I was there. I was supposed to be there for him. I was supposed to be there for them. That's it. I'm supposed to be here for you. That's it. We don't know what else. But right now, my job is to serve you, to give you all I got. And I'm going to do it for as long as I can. I'm going to bring you the power, the information, the confidence, the integrity, the truth. As much as I know, I'm going to give you all I got. Because I had too many years of not being able to be all that I can be. But I got to be there. I got to do this. I got to do this for you. I feel responsibility to you to stay on top of this. And you've done it. You've made it all possible. So thank you. Thank you. May we continue to grow together. If you have any questions about anything, it's tax season. Don't get me started, y'all, but it's tax season. So if you want to get it together and allow me to review it, it's good. Do it early. Do it early. Because they get mad when we do it at the end. But it's, always good for us to review it together. So you go back to your tax preparer. If there's anything that they overlooked, if they get mad about it, they'll get over it. But don't let them just hit that submit button. And just because you get money back doesn't mean that it's right. No, that it may be more that you're supposed to be getting back. Oh, Ms. Hayes said you're doing a fantastic job for the Black community. I appreciate you every day. I appreciate you every day. You keep doing what you do. You're so positive. You're a blessing. Wow, what a queen. Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Witherspoon, for your question. You stay inspired. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're doing it. I pick on you, but you can do it. You got this. You've got this. I love you. Just keep going. Keep going. I'm glad the Andersons are hanging out as well. How you doing, Mr. Barry? It's all good. We need to talk, catch up. Hi, Andrea. That's definitely. Thank you all so much. And each of y'all need to send me a recording of you singing happy birthday to me. Yes, you do. Yes, indeed. Happy birthday to me and the business. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful night. I'll just hang around. So if you make any texts and anything, if you need me, just let me know. But I'll just hang around here for a second.